Ready to go. And Gator went first yesterday with a college football question, so I will go first. Khang's got 5 questions for us, NFL related, league-wide. Here we go.
All right, guys. Doug, in the NFC, outside the NFC East, only the Vikings have a winning record. In the AFC, 2 divisions are led by 3-win teams. What does this mean? Why is this?
So I tried to find some definitive data. And what I found is that I just think the quarterback play and the offenses are better in the AFC. It's not overwhelming. They're just kind of a little bit better. And it starts to show when the two conferences play against one another. But 11 of the top 17 offenses are from the AFC. And when you start looking at the top quarterbacks in the game, it's like 6 of the top 10 and 9 of the top 15 are AFC guys. So I just think it comes down to their offenses are getting the job done in this era of the NFL better than the NFC.
I think that the balance of the power has shifted to the AFC, but it's parity in the NFL. I mean, it just happens that there might be more parity in the NFC right now. The NFC going through some growing pains here with some younger teams. You got quarterbacks that have moved around a little bit, and I just think that's all it is. It'll I don't know if correct itself is the right way to put it, but in the end, there just aren't that many really good teams in the NFC.
I think you kind of hit it, Gator. I don't think it's parity. I think there's just a lot of bad football. Tom Brady said it a couple weeks ago when he watched football. They asked him kind of a similar question, what's going on in the league, is it parity? And he said, I see a lot of bad football, and I agree with him. There's only 3 really good teams. It's the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles. And everyone else, I think, is just not that good. And I wish it was parity, but when you have 2 teams leading divisions in the NFC that are 3-win teams, and no one else besides the Vikings and the NFC East has a winning record, I don't know, man. Maybe things change as we move forward, but right now I just see a lot of bad football.
Isn't that parity, though? When
parity
you have 3
bad
of 7.
football?
Well, yeah, but it's parity.
Of bad football, yeah. I guess I usually think when people say parity, it's because we have so much good football. But
I would say average football rather than bad, but yes.
So like I mentioned, there's a lot of average teams out there. There's 3 12-win teams in the NFL. Out of all the 3-win teams, guys, who's the best?
Out of all the 3-win teams, it's hard to say that the Rams aren't. They are the defending Super Bowl champions. There's a little bit of a hangover going on right now with what they're doing. There might be some infighting, too. Cam Akers not really happy with Sean McVay and perhaps vice versa. But I do think you still have to respect who the champs are. They haven't really lost much from that team. They'll figure things out. Stafford's good. Aaron Donald's one of the best ever. And Cooper Kupp continues to be remarkable.
I've always liked Tennessee because I love Vrabel, and they're relatively healthy, but they don't score enough. I'm going to go with Baltimore. I love Lamar Jackson. I love their offense. I love their coach. They got a bunch of injuries, but I think Baltimore is the best of the 12 3-win teams.
I've got the Niners. I think Garoppolo is, it might be an upgrade from Trey Lance. Everyone thought Trey Lance would be the guy, but that was very short-lived. They got Debo. They got that defense. I think they're going through a rough patch, but when they're on, people are like, wow, this team's got a chance for the Super Bowl. And out of all 3-win teams, I'd put my money on the Niners. New York. The Jets are 4-2. The New York Football Giants are 5-1. Are they for real? Who's an actual contender and who's a pretender between these two?
All right, so the Jets have a better offense. Both have easy schedules because both of their divisions get to play against the NFC North. I'm going to say they're both contenders. I don't think either of them are pretenders. I think both of them are going to make the playoffs. I mean, the Giants right now with the NFC, I'm not sure there are 7 worthy teams, but I like the Jets offense and the Jets schedule. So is this a cop-out? I think they're both going to be there in the end. I think they're both playing postseason football.
I think it's a little bit of a cop-out. I think you're right with
the my Giants.
Yeah, well, your Giants, I think, are legit. I think that I'm not buying the Jets yet, even though I'm a big Zach Wilson guy. I'm not buying them yet. And their schedule is light. And they've got some easy games on that schedule. Whether it's they play Seattle, the Jaguars, they play the Lions for crying out loud, the Bears. It's a light schedule. But if they make the playoffs, I just don't see them doing anything in the playoffs. I think they make the playoffs almost by default because that's what they are. I mean, and I want to like them, obviously, because of Zach Wilson. They could very well be a playoff team and a high caliber one by the end of the season, but I'm not buying it.
I've got the Jets as contenders and the Giants as pretenders. I don't think the Giants end up making it. I think that division ends up eating them up, and they'll be left out. I love the Jets. I think the schedule you bring up is very favorable for the Jets. They've got a really good young core. Not just Zach Wilson, but 2 rookies are leading them this year, and Hall and Sauce Gardner. Those 2 guys actually have a chance to win offensive and defensive rookie of the year. If you're a Jets fan, if you're a Lions fan, that's what you want. Like, you're like, oh my God, they got a new young coach. They got young players to build around. They're winning right now. I'd be very jealous of the Jets. I think the Jets make the playoffs. They were the real contender between the 2. All right, guys, let's stick with football because that's what we're doing. Bailey Zappi is 2-0 as the Patriots starter. With Mac Jones out. Jones is only in his 2nd year, and he's 1-2 as a starter this year with not very good numbers. When Jones is healthy, and he might be healthy this week, what should New England do? Ride it out with Zappi or put back Mac Jones?
I think you keep riding what's hot right now, and right now there's no reason to say that Bailey Zappi deserves to step down just because the other guy's getting healthy. I think you go with a hot hand, and Bailey Zappi has gotten better. First week against the Lions looked really good. The next week he looked very good. I think threw for 300 yards last week. So I'd keep playing Zappi until you don't have to play Zappi.
I do not. They beat Detroit and Cleveland, which ranked 32nd and 30th in the NFL in scoring defense. We know about the Lions' problems defensively. The Browns keep giving up huge plays in the run game, and they did again last week. And Zappi's touchdown pass to Hunter Henry, he was 7 yards clear of the closest defender. He's fine, but no. I go back to Mac Jones.
Doug loves Mac Jones.
He does. I got Bailey Zappi in this one. If there's ever an organization that knows how to ride the hot hand, it's New England and Belichick, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this year Mac Jones has not been good, and like I said, he's only in his 2nd year. Doesn't have carte blanche or anything like that. Drew Bledsoe got put down. I know it was by injury, but
and what does it say when they drafted a quarterback the next year?
Well, they're always looking for the next, aren't they? With Castle and
right,
Garoppolo. And
I think it's interesting that they draft Mac Jones, use a 1st-round pick on him. And was it the next year, or was it 2? Were the 2 years?
Well,
was it a year between?
Mac Jones was a rookie last year.
Okay, yeah. So they went from Mac Jones, and then they used a 4th-round pick on Zappi this past year. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I stick with Zappi in this one. All right, this week, Tom Brady compared getting ready for an NFL season like military deployment. He said it's just really difficult balancing personal life and trying to win a Super Bowl because once he hits football season, he's all in, and that leaves his family and other personal stuff out. If Tom Brady ends up getting a divorce but somehow wins another Super Bowl, would this all be worth it?
I don't know much about his marital bliss or lack thereof. I do know about his competitive fire. I think for him, it would be worth it because of what drives him. I think in his personal life, out on the open market, he'll do fine. And I think if he doesn't win the Super Bowl and his $375 million Fox contract, he'll be fine. I don't lose sleep over Tom Brady's well-being. But knowing the way he is wired, I mean, I think one part of the reason his marriage is over is because he wanted to go back and win a Super Bowl. He couldn't resist. His mistress is football.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I think he lost his marriage over it. And it's something that they clearly came to an agreement on when the season ended last year. When it was all done, he agreed he was going to retire. And then he backed out of that less than a month later. And I mean, you just broke the trust and ended it. And he did it on he's the one that did it. At least this is what we're led to believe based on the information that we have. So no, I think long term he'll probably regret it because when he retires after this year, I mean, well, great, you want another one? So what? You've already got 5 or 6 of them. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm with you, Gator. I would regret it. It's not worth it. But I think you're right, Doug. And Tom Brady kind of knew the consequences. Like, he knew the strain this was going to put on his relationship, and he still did it. So to me, it screams kind of worth it for Tom Brady. But you're right, Gator. Another ring for the GOAT? I mean, at this point, come on, man. And by the way, he looks miserable this year. It doesn't even look like
You know what it says to me is that he just wanted out of the relationship.
Oh, this is the way to do it.
I mean, if you wanted to work on the relationship, you don't play football again. You're done. You retire. You're in your mid-40s. You've got 1 million championships. You're the GOAT. You've got nothing left to prove. Be a father. Be a husband.
And there it is. That concludes the Y9 Omaha 4 Down Around the League Blitz thingy.